Hello again, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Heather Elizabeth, and I hope you're all doing good. I have a few things to include in this video. I'm going to share an attempted DIY. It was not as successful as I hoped, but I am going to show it to you, show you how I did it, in case maybe you guys can improve upon my initial idea. And I have a haul. I have some things that you haven't seen that I wanted to share, as well as I would like to give you some updates on some of my collections that I was looking for this year. So I did 2 videos on collections for 2023, and there's a few of them that have grown, and I thought I would just do a little share on some of the items that I have accumulated in those specific categories. So let's start with my DIY idea. So my idea was to make my own crowns for some of my dolls, teddy bears, and the idea was to use lace. And I'm going to show you probably the most successful one that I like, how it turned out. There we go. So I made this little crown out of lace, and my idea was to paper mache to stiffen up the lace so that it would hold on said toy, whether it was a doll head or a bear. This one ended up being a little big for my bear, even though I did try to measure, but it came out pretty cute. I like how you can still tell that it was originally a piece of lace. I think it's great for the shabby decor, but it ended up being a little big for Mr. Teddy Bear, even though I did try to measure it. So it should have been smaller, I think, so that I could maybe try to sit it on the back of his head. But at the moment, it is just hanging to the side. What I did was I grabbed some starch, and on the back of the starch bottle, it had directions for paper mache, which was mixing half a cup of flour with 1 cup of starch. So I gave it a go and mixed it together and applied it onto my different sizes of lace. I did go through all of my lace scraps and picked several different styles of lace to try with the different dolls and Mr. Teddy. Some of them I cut into half, and I used 1/2 for a larger crown and 1/2 for a smaller crown. And I measured the circumference of the head and I pinned it. When I started, the rings of lace were not supported by anything, and I soon realized that when they got wet, they would need some support. So I grabbed some water balloons and some regular size balloons and blew those inside of the lace rings so that the lace would be supported by the balloon as I applied the starch and flour mixture. And then I just let them sit overnight. So I'm going to say now that at the time, I didn't realize that there was such a product as fabric hardener. Had I known, I would have gone and bought that instead of a big bottle of starch. So if you guys want to try this at home, I'm going to recommend that maybe you try the fabric hardener first, because it's going to be a lot faster to harden the lace instead of waiting overnight. I think that they turned out okay with the starch and the flour, but I wish that I had the hardener because it would have been so much quicker. After a day, I popped the balloons and I took a look at what I had. And some of them were horrible. Some of them were flopsy and ugly. I think I took some video of just the ones that I thought were successful. So then I decided that 2 of the lace were mint green, and I was going to use some rub and buff to just make them a nice antique gold. The rest of the lace were very pretty ivory, and I decided I really like that look. I think the ivory lace is perfect for a French brocante style of decor. So I think that if you were gonna try this, that's what I would do. I would use some ivory lace and give it a go, and let me know if you end up using fabric hardener and if it worked better than my messy, gloppy paper mache attempt. So now we're gonna look at my little friends with their crowns, and you can tell me if you think they were a hit or a miss. Some of them I think are okay. So let's go take a look at the DIY French brocante lace crowns. So that was my crafty DIY. The one crown that I really thought was gonna be great ended up being too big for my composite doll. My composite doll that I had measured, I mean, you can kind of sit it back, but you can see it's very, very large. I guess I could leave it on her, but I just thought it was a little too big. I don't know, what do you guys think? But I'm definitely gonna keep it. I'll keep it for the right size head when it comes along. So now let's move on to a haul. I have some great things that I picked up. First thing I'm going to show you in the haul is a Seth Thomas metronome. You just unhook the top and this little panel slides out, and then the metronome comes right out like that. And it's ready to keep you in time. So I picked this up to be, for the most part, an art object. I loved the obelisk pyramid shape. I loved the natural wood, and it is always nice to have antique or vintage pieces like this to add interest to your table, whether it be a conversation piece or just a lovely sculptural object. So that's why I picked this up. I did also pick up these adorable shelf sconces. They are wood, they have wonderful carved bow details on them. You can tell that it is a dark reddish stain. I did already try to distress this one. I don't know if I'm gonna get it all the way down to the original wood and restain, or if I'm just going to distress it enough to tone down that reddish color. I love them. I'm going to put something on them. I did also grab another piece of crystal. This one is a vanity jar. Definitely not super old, but gorgeous. I couldn't say no. This was a steal at $5. It has some chips on the interior, but I'm keeping it, so I don't care. It looks great when you have it under any area with the sun coming through a window. Just love all those gorgeous cuts. And I also grabbed another project piece. I was able to pick up this great little butterfly. These taxidermy framed butterflies are getting really hard to find at a thrifted price. So when I was able to pick this up for, I don't know, I think it was under $5. I think this might have been only $3. I definitely grabbed it. but I don't love the frame. So this is gonna piece where I'm probably going to try to carefully remove it and put it in a new frame. So this is gonna have to wait until the right frame comes along. And then this will be another project on the to-do list. Lastly, I'm gonna share 2 pieces of wall decor. I found another beautifully framed picture, so couldn't say no. This one was about $20. I did absolutely pick it up for the frame, but the image is great too. So until I decide to reframe another piece of art, I think I'm gonna put it up in the house just like this, but it was the actual molding that grabbed me. Loved the thickness and the depth, so that was a win. Good heavy frames like that are harder and harder to find. Now, the second piece of wall art is a tapestry, and it's really, really big. So I'm gonna need to back up to show you this. Okay, so I'm gonna back up to see if you can get an idea of the full size of this. It's pretty big. It's a French provincial scene, very idyllic pastoral life, I would say. Here, maybe I'll just scroll up. So this was another lucky steal of a deal because it was on the half price day of a very big, large estate. And I found it in a basement closet. It was rolled up with a bunch of fabric bolts. And I had decided to go through all the fabric bolts to see if there was any really good pieces in there. And then I found this rolled up. And so they just gave it to me like in a bundle. I think I have this and some other pieces, and it was like $10. Sometimes last day, they are just ready to clear out the house. But I definitely am glad that I got all hot and sweaty in that closet and dug through those heavy, heavy bolts of fabric. I mean, it was a workout, but look at the treasure that I uncovered. So sometimes it is definitely worth the hunt. So that was a great little get for me. Okay, so now I want to just really quickly show you some of the collections that have grown from my 2023 list, starting with the laundry pins. When I did the video, I had 2 of them, and so I do still keep them in this little sewing rotary sewing attachment tin. And let's see, so I started with 2. These are hard to fan out. These are not easy to hold in a cute way. So we have 1, 2, 3 bigger ones, 4, 5, 6 smaller ones. So there are now 6 in the collection. So that has definitely grown. There's room for a few more in here, but probably not more than maybe another 4. So this collection is fleshing out, and I don't feel the need to search as hard, and they will come to me when it is meant to be. All right, and then the next one I wanted to show you was my game piece collection. Okay, so I think I started with these. I can't find my little mouse. Sometimes when you have small collections and you have them displayed out like this, you lose 1 or 2. Hopefully it's on the floor somewhere. So now I'm going to show you the pieces that I have added into this since you last saw it. I got this cute little guy. I don't know if he's a game piece or not, but he fits great in there with them. And this little truck. And this little piano. And then another little soldier dude. And this cute little house. And this adorable little dog. So tiny. And this is actually a charm that a friend of mine, one of my subscribers, she sent to me. It's actually a charm, but it works great. It's a cute little Santa's sleigh. So now you can see my game piece collection, we're full. So if I keep getting any more of these, I'm gonna have to find another display case that's bigger. But that's all right. Sometimes that's how collections go. They grow and then they outgrow their display area. I really have enjoyed looking for the game piece collection this year, and I'm happy to say that I have found so many new additions to add to it. Another thing I have been keeping an eye out for are the small needlepoint or tapestry handbags. And I have only had one in my collection until now. I have a second one I recently added, and it is beautiful. The colors are muted as well. This one is another floral. I have yet to find one with a scene on the interior, but I'm really happy with this one. So now I have two of them hanging on my mannequin. So until I find a few more, that's where they're gonna stay. I think it's really pretty. I just love these pieces. They're very English cottage style to me, and so I am enjoying the hunt for the small needlepoint or tapestry handbags. All right, I brought you down to the den to share my fruit spoon collection, which was in my first collection video for 2023, where I saw these from the Martha Stewart blog, and I have added, let's see, which ones are new? This big one, I know, with the scalloped edge, that one's new. And then all these little ones are definitely new. These are adorable, all three of these. Of course, I love the designs on the ones with more of the repoussé, where it's been more punched out, but I do still love the pretty engraved design on this little one. So the fruit spoon collection has grown, as well as I have started over here. I have expanded to pierced spoons as well. And I have two of the larger, I think, tomato servers, and then a couple of these smaller ones for things like olives. Even this adorable little ladle, which I'm not sure if that's for some sort of special fruit concoction, but I loved the designs on them. And so now I've got a pierced spoon collection as well. Well, that's everything I wanted to share with you guys today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had fun. And let me know if you've ever used that fabric hardener and if that would have been so much easier for me. I have a feeling it would have been. Okay, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourselves out there. Happy thrifting, and until I see you in the next video, bye for now. Okay, so let's start with my DIY. DIY. Come on, get in there. So at the moment it's kind of hanging cock. At the moment it's, oh my God.